Hello, hello. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello. It's close enough to noon, so I will begin. Um, another reason for beginning just a tad early is it's about to rain on me, so want to get as much of this in as I can before I have to put away the equipment so it doesn't get wet. Well, hello. As I said, my name is Sharon Schultz, and I'm known as the Bay Lady. I have been doing virtual tours, oh gosh, since hmm, since 2019 probably. I worked with the company, a now defunct company called Hago. Lots of fun, lots of cool tours, lots of really cool tour guides too. I remained friends with several of them. Anyway, so that's how I got into tours in the first place. And the Bay Lady comes from the fact that I live in the Chesapeake Bay region of Maryland, and my tours center around the Chesapeake Bay. No matter where I go, the bay is connected to it in one way or another. Now, this particular tour that I've started today has a significance. It goes with a story that I will get into in a moment. But first, I also want to say that I am back. I've taken the summer off. I um, had a couple of week vacation overseas, and I came back from that and took a breather. And now that we're in September, I thought this would be a great way to come back with more Bay Lady tours. I am trying something a little bit different this time slot at 12 noon Eastern Daylight Time um, is when I would do my Beatles trivia, and I would do Minute Mysteries. It was a midweek, midday, break from the mundane, something different for you. So, what I've decided to do is use this time slot and this platform for all of my tours. And you won't know what I'm doing until I do it. Like, for instance, I could be sitting at home in my Beatles trivia studio and we could be playing trivia, but we're not. We're here instead. Now, where is here? Well, I'll get into that shortly. So, anyway, here I am with um, lots of stories to tell. The name of this tour I was going to call On Irish Time with the Bay Lady. And I thought that I should explain why I'm calling it On Irish Time. I wanted a platform where I could do anything on it, different subject matter. But uh, this particular title um, was chosen after a trip I took. I was attending a language college in a small village by the sea called Glenconkilla, and that is in County Donegal, Ireland. And the Irish are, for the most part, some pretty friendly, laid back folks. For sure, they are. And I had the the pleasure of meeting many of them. But on Irish time, that comes from our final day at the college in Glencombe. We would take a bus to Donegal proper, the town, and from there catch a bus to Dublin, to the airport, to Dublin Airport. That was how we had arrived a week earlier. So, it all seemed pretty simple, cut and dry. So, our bus was going to leave at 7 a.m. in the morning, a Saturday morning. So, my travel buddies and I rolled down the hill from the Airbnb that we were staying at. And we rolled down the hill with our luggage to the spot across from Biddy's Tavern, where the bus would be there waiting for us at 7 o'clock, coming to pick us up at 7 o'clock. So we were there. I walked up to the bus at the appointed place and verified with the bus driver that we were in the right place. And we were, but he was the wrong bus. Our bus hadn't arrived yet. And when it did, it would just be right across the street on the other corner. Okay, that was fine. So, sure enough, another bus pulls up across the street. By now, we're standing over there with our luggage waiting, right? And we're looking at the clock, and it's after 7. We're like, oh my goodness, but that's okay. We had to make a connection in Donegal to get to Dublin, but we had time in between arrival and departure, so not to worry. Right. So, I asked the bus driver, "Is this the bus that goes to Donegal?" And he assured me that it was, except for he had to make a slight detour to the next town over called Mallinbeg, to pick up a passenger and bring him back to where we were starting from in Glencombe. Only take 20 minutes. And my travel buddies and I, we thought, okay, well, we had a couple hour gap there. All right, that's fine. Let's go for the ride. And so we did. It was early in the morning, and the ride was beautiful. The sea was always extraordinary, especially when you're looking down at it from some rocky cliffs high up, right? Anyway, so we did all that. We went to Mallinbeg, enjoyed the scenery, picked up the passenger, enjoyed the scenery again, and came back to the parking lot by Biddy's Pub. Okay, well, we were, sitting there for a minute or two or three and wondering why we weren't leaving yet. It's 7:30 now. Times are going, clocks are ticking. And so, the bus driver, he gets out of the bus and walks to the front of it and pops the hood and starts banging at the engine. I assume he was banging at the engine. That's what was under there. And he was banging on something. And next thing you know, here comes a car, pulls up next to the bus, and a gentleman gets out and gets under the hood with the bus driver, and they're kind of banging on the engine there again. We're like, what on earth is going on? So, bus driver came back on the bus and explained that the bus was broke. And so this man was going to take him to get another bus, and he'd be right back with the other bus, and we'd be off to Donegal. Wow. So, as it ended up, we, been running around about 90 minutes there, and my travel buddies, they decided to run back to the Airbnb up the hill and use the facilities, and I stayed behind and minded our luggage on the empty bus. Go figure, I'm babysitting luggage on a bus. Anyway, the bus driver came back and he had another bus, and we loaded ourselves and our luggage on the other bus, and off we went to Donegal without a hitch, except that we missed our connection to Dublin. So it was okay. We didn't have to wait too long for another bus to the airport, but we were trying to go to a museum and we kind of missed our reservations on that. Anyway, and the whole time, the driver, the bus driver, when all this is going on, and I guess I'm like the spokesperson, and I guess he sees the questioning look in my eyes, and he kept telling me, it's okay, dear. You're on Irish time, lass. You're on Irish time. So we are on Irish time now. And we are starting this series off in one of my favorite places, Ellicott City, Maryland. Um, Ellicott City is in Howard County, except that I am sitting across the river from it. And so I am in Baltimore County. Behind me, I don't know if you can see the building back there. Oh, there it is, the building behind me. That's called the Charlie Stop. And it used to be a Charlie Stop for sure, but now it is a really nice bar and restaurant. Uh, very good food and wonderful old atmosphere inside that building. I am going to turn the camera around so I can show you where I've been sitting. So bear with me. So bear with me just a moment. I will get that switched around. Oh, there we are. Okay, switcheroo. We're coming. We're back. All right. So here's where I've been sitting on this nice little bench overlooking the Patapsco River. The Patapsco River is a very important river. It is also the river that Baltimore Harbor sits on. Takes you right to Baltimore Harbor. Baltimore Harbor is one of the busiest harbors in the country. This little river, however, the Patapsco River, has so much history. It's been the cause of so many things, both good and not so good, really. Um, this river, sometimes it floods, and when it floods, it floods. It floods badly, okay, really badly. It's caused so many deaths here. Just it's just part of the space here. This is a very historical area. It was founded in the 1700s by the Ellicott brothers, three of them from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. We have a whole lot of ducks over there on that little island. And I wanted to share this. I don't know about you, but when my children were young, one of our favorite pastimes, and regardless of the season, was to go to the lake and feed the ducks. We would save bread, old bread loaves, the heels and such. We would save that and put them in a bag, and when we got a whole bag, we'd go feed the ducks. Well, right here is telling you not to do it with bread. Bread makes their tummies hurt. It makes them sick, and they have nothing beneficial in it. Is that amazing? So, what should we be feeding the ducks? How about half cut? So how about seedless grapes cut in half, chopped lettuce, birdseed, peas, corn, and oats? Oh, me and corn. I am not surprised. You know why? Animals love corn. My chickens next door, my neighbor's chickens, I call them mine because I help take care of them. The chickens next door love corn. That's like their big treat. Corn on the cob, raw. They just peck the heck out of it. Focusing my camera here on a what looks like a building that looks like a castle, sitting up on the hill there. It does look like a castle from this view. If you look at it from above, it looks like a church because the building is in the shape of a cross. Building was built by an artist, and for many years it was a rooming home for kind of lost artists, I guess you'd say. Um, Also reputed to be haunted. The artist builder, it said, once he passed, he'd been known to toss people out the back door there who weren't artists, and send them down the hill to the river to their death. Right? Yes, Ellicott City is like that. I'm giving you a look here of where I've been sitting. It's so picturesque. They've landscaped this nicely. They've installed some nice chairs. The river is very rocky. This river travels pretty far. The river is why Ellicott City is here. It was founded, as I said, years ago, and it they built a textile mill here, and lo and behold, as time went on, many mills appeared on this river. Unfortunately, the mills were destroyed. Also, the trolley stop used to be a hotel and a trolley stop for sure. The trolley, see where the top deck is with this going up the stairs. That is where the trolley would let the passengers off, and the top part of that trolley stop, what top two floors was rooming house, hotel, whatever. The bottom, a tavern. The railroad trestle, you're looking at the bricks that supported it. I mean, not bricks, the granite, the rock. Okay. The railroad trestle just went all the way up here across the river. This is a busy place for sure. There's a little rock thing. I like these little rock things. It's the balancing. It's about the balancing of the stones. Interesting. Interesting little garden they have here. Now, across the street, there's the mill, the original mill that the Ellicott brothers built. I see that they're working on it, and I have no idea what they're doing. That mill has never fully functioned since it stopped being a mill, so I'm not 100% sure here what they're doing with it, but hey. Oella is another community. It's up there on that side of the road that has a mill and homes that were built for the mill workers as well. Same story here. Now, this is the bridge coming over the Patapsco River into Ellicott City. I said that Ellicott City was very historic for the city's growth and its development and the manufacturing and all of those things. Okay, it figured um, it it figured importantly during the Civil War because of the train station here. Trains still run through these tracks. They don't stop anymore, but they still run through. This was the site of the first train, the first 13 tracks of first 13 railroad tracks, 13 miles of railroad tracks, started in Baltimore and ended here at 13 miles away in Ellicott City. So as you can imagine, with the with being able to transport troops from out here in the country and supplies and stuff back and forth from here to Baltimore during the Civil War, it was very impactful on the outcomes that followed. This brick, shit, I keep saying brick. Oh, this stone house here, it used to belong to one of the Ellicott brothers. The house was actually situated out here in the middle of the river. There was a little stand of homes here that got wiped out in a horrible flood in 1868, which took out more than 30 people. They're doing some kind of construction down there. I'm not sure what, but there was a parking lot and they've closed it. So interesting. So we're about to enter Ellicott City proper. Um, the sign there, Ellicott City, that is a railroad bridge, the bridge that comes over Main Street. You can see the brick wall right actually next to the house. That was part of the supports for the trolley. Anyway, to the left of the sign is the railroad station. Now, as I said, the trains don't stop here anymore, but they still use the track. So, about a dozen or more years ago, there were two young women out here enjoying a warm summer night. They were sitting up on that bridge right there. And they were sitting like with their feet dangling off the edge and looking this way towards us. You know, this is what they were looking at. They were probably waving their feet at the cars as they went under or what have you. But it was two 19-year-old young women sitting there not bothering anyone. And what happened was, of course, a freak, horrible tragedy. The train came rolling through, and it was a train that was carrying coal. And the coal train jumped the track, and the coal overturned right here, right where you're looking, and crushed those two girls to death as it fell down onto the road. The road the next day was full of coal. It was horrible. The train, the coal car just flipped over right then and there, right on top of them, sitting there with their feet dangling. Bizarre, totally, yes. True, totally, yes. You can Google it. It happened. It really did. Those were two deaths, two of many weird deaths that have occurred in Ellicott City, but probably one of the few that didn't involve the river. Most of the deaths here that occurred in Ellicott City over the decades involved drowning primarily. And this house was moved, as I said, from the center of the river because you can see the supports here, this wall still here for the trolley. Okay, you notice there's a lot of granite here, right? Well, Ellicott City is surrounded by 7 hills. Okay, 7 hills with Ellicott City in the valley at the bottom. Now, these hills are loaded with granite. And so, for the people here in Ellicott City, granite was a common commodity. It was a resource that was easily had and easily used to build homes. This is typical Ooh, a lot of traffic. This is typical of what you'll see along Main Street here in Ellicott City. The street, this half of it, this side of it is built into one of the largest hills, Courthouse Hill. And so there are entrances on many levels to some of these buildings, and many have stairwells like this. Now, this one would have taken passengers up to the station, which is right here. At the time, it was called Ellicott Mills. Right here, this building that you're looking at, this was a hotel. Okay, it was a hotel, one of two or three that were here at the time. And the hotel provided easy access for passengers on the train, coming in on the trains and such. Now, there's a famous ghost story that took place here. I should tell you about. There was a young Confederate soldier who was being held, I'd say down track, maybe halfway between here and Baltimore. The Union Army had a camp there, and they had Confederate prisoners that they were getting ready to transport south. Or no, transport north. They were from the south. They were going to send them north. So this one Confederate soldier decided he was going south. He was going home. And so he followed the train tracks. And unfortunately, the end of the line was here and it wasn't home. Now here, Ellicott City, was the home of the Patapsco Guard. Yes, they were a fighting regiment that, patrolled the town, that, kept the peace, and that supported the Union soldiers and such. Okay, so they were Ellicott City's own Union soldier brigade. So the poor little Confederate lad, figured his mistake, but too late. And so he was about to dive through that door there. That's the top of the stairs from the train platform. He was going to go hide in the hotel. But when he opened the door, there were two Union soldiers standing there. This dude's in a Confederate uniform. And they'd already telegraphed ahead to tell them to be on the lookout for an escaped POW. So there they were. So the Confederate guy turns around and comes tearing down these stairs. The Union soldiers, meanwhile, have exited the building, and with guns drawn, they shot the Confederate soldier. They shot him in the back. He was dead when he hit the ground. Right there. So the story goes, on a moonless night, if you're standing here, you come by here, you can watch as the soldier does a somersault down the stairs and lays at the bottom, eyes staring up. Yep, that's the story. That's how it goes. One of many, many, many. Okay, so what do we have here? Oh, I don't think they're open. No, they're not. Look at this. They're closed. Oh, I never did get in there and try. They had coffee. I love coffee. Oh, sad. They're all shut down. Oh, this place too. What's going on, guys? Wow, that whole thing. Okay. I hate seeing things come and go. This is, I'm not sure. It's not a furniture store. Anyway, okay. Well, let me show you a little bit more. All these buildings are old as the hills, okay? I'm talking super old. And you can see they're made of granite. Now, the reason that Ellicott City is supposedly such an active spiritual place is because of the river and the granite. The river creates energy, the granite holds energy, and that's how that soldier was able to tumble down the steps and do it every moonless night. Now, there's another example of one of the many alleys here, with steps going all the way up. That goes up to another street, actually. And then this building, this used to be one of the hotels. Oh my goodness. And it was done in 1780. The old stone tavern house and the Wayside Inn. And you can see how it is stone all the way up. And it's the tallest structure in Ellicott City, 5 stories up. This building, okay, it used to be the headquarters for the Patapsco Guard. And as a matter of fact, they kept prisoners up on that very top floor, Confederate prisoners. This shop is so cool. It's one of my favorites. It's been here forever. But I want to show you the back wall is the stone. It's built right into the stone. All the 3 stories are uh, retail goods, and the 3 stories have their back wall is the rock, okay, built right into the hillside. Definitely interesting. Yes, yes. Okay. Oh, is that Sarah? Hi. I know you like Ellicott City. Hey, you know what? Um, Halloween's coming. I think it'll be time for me to do some ghost tours. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, indeed. Oh, there are, let's see, what is um, the story here? This used to be a building for years and years. What you're looking at, that empty space here on the corner that you're looking at, there was a building there. It was called the Phoenix Emporium, and it was like so cool. It was a restaurant for years and years and years. And it's that right over Tiber Creek, which is only a trickle today. This runs under homes here in Ellicott City. Part of the problem when things flood, actually. Yeah. So this was this first built. There was one building here that was the Phoenix Emporium, a restaurant, and then next to it was one of the many um, mortuaries, funeral home. There was a funeral home here. So this corner, that between the funeral home, the Emporium, and across the street, the railroad station, the paranormal activity here is still one of the most active in Maryland, maybe one of the most active in the country. They say Ellicott City is the most haunted place in the U.S., so I don't know on what authority, however. So they made this into a nice little park. Okay, they got rid of the houses. They made them into a park. I think they finally tore them down because they had been damaged so many times by floodwaters. And I guess they gave up. I don't know. I don't know. But they created this nice little area. And they do have a farmer's market here, which I would love to come to one of these days if I can get myself out of bed early enough to do that. Oh, they're redoing this building. Nice. That was the building that you're looking at. That was flood damaged as well. Definitely. Over here in front of the funeral home, the funeral home had, I'm sure it had more than one, but this one particular little ghost, um, this particular ghost would stand outside the funeral home and wave people in. That's what the rumor says. It would stand out there and just wave the folks in. Come on in, we're here. We're here. You can imagine. Let's see. Oh, and the Phoenix Emporium, they um, they had several ghosts as well. One of the employees at the Emporium went outside, and there was a little boy standing out there looking for his mom. Couldn't find his mom. So he took the little boy by the hand and went to take him inside, and poof, the little boy was gone. You know, his mom may have been one of the citizens that drowned when the flood took out 30 some homes in a row. Crazy, crazy. Now, here at the railroad station, oh my goodness, there is so much history associated with this. Here's where we just were. Give you a panoramic view here. Nice, right? This is such a cool place. There's always something going on here. So the Railroad Museum. So years ago, they had Civil War reenactments here. They may still, I don't know. Anyway, and so they would let some of the reenactors stay here in the museum, you know, stay overnight, whatever, um, so they could, you know, participate and all. And so one night there was a guy that came out, and he was smoking a cigarette. He was one of the reenactors. And across the street comes this old man with his dog crossing the street coming towards the station here. And so the old man asked the young guy for a cigarette. And the young guy gave him a cigarette and chatted up the old man. And then the old man, you know, he was dressed in a, you know, reenactor's uniform. And anyway, so, you know, he said, you know, they parted ways, and the reenactor watched the old man and the dog as they walked away, and they seemed to get a bit of pep to their step, and they seemed to go younger right before his eyes, right before they went poof into the night. So when he went back inside, he questioned everybody. Anybody see this guy? Who was this guy? Who was this guy? Well, they never did find the guy. And of course, it is now assumed that the guy was just one of the soldiers that possibly died here. The fifth floor of the building over here that um, houses the Forget Me Not factory now, that fifth floor where they kept the prisoners of war. Um, during that during that particular year, they had an extremely harsh winter, and there was a lot of disease floating about. Typhoid being one, I think it was. At any rate, there were Confederate soldiers up there who got sick and passed away. So um, it's understood that a lot of them might, or several of them might still be up there. Many of the paranormal experts have been here to Ellicott City. It's like one of their favorite places, I have no doubt. Um, they've been here and they have, you know, experienced things. And so far, I mean, the things that they've experienced have, resulted from actual, have been verified, with past history and such. Um, so I guess it's all in, what you believe. But yeah, Ellicott City is quite historic. Here's something worth looking at. This museum here, the railroad station, dedicated to the men from Howard County who fought to preserve the Union during the American Civil War from 1861 to 1865. Union unit, blah, Union units with companies raised in Howard County during the war. The Patapsco Guard, which was an independent infantry company, the 1st Maryland Volunteers, 3rd Maryland Volunteers, 3rd Potomac Home Brigade, Company 1, 2nd Maryland Volunteer Cavalry, 4th Maryland Volunteer Infantry, U.S. Colored Troops, 39th Maryland Infantry, U.S. Colored Troops. So, that poor Confederate soldier didn't quite know what he was getting into, did he? Poor guy. Poor little guy. Okay, I'm going to sit and turn the camera around on myself here for a moment as I bid farewell. Yeah. Camera facing front. Oh, there I am. Hello. Okay, I'm back. Hey, Ronnie, how are you? That's okay that you're late. I'm glad you guys are here. It's good to hear from you. Like I said, I've kind of been disappeared for the summer, but I had a great summer, I have to say. An awesome summer. So, well, I think this is a nice little preview of Ellicott City. I will definitely get some actual ghost tours in next month. Not necessarily in this time slot. I may maybe do something in the evening. You never know. I could get brave, right? Never know what's going on here. So look for more Bay Lady surprises on Wednesdays at noon. Don't know where I'll turn up at. I don't know myself until I get there. Anyway, let's see. To support my platform, um, please, you can go to buymeacoffee.com. The link is on my YouTube page and also on my Facebook page and on Twitch. I'm on Twitch too. So, anywho, I hope to see you next time. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye.